You see the world not as it is, you see the world as you are. I got this line from the book of the guest that is here with us today. He is Mr. Suresh Govind from Hyderabad. Let me present to you a Kadak Irani chai. He is an engineer from NIT Trichy. He has been 8 years into the manufacturing industry, then 15 years in the IT domain of SAP, and since 2014, he is into consulting in personal finance. Welcome to Sip and Talk with Vikram, Mr. Suresh Govind.
Thank you very much, Vikram. It's a privilege for me to be on your show. You are also number one best-selling author of 3 wonderful books. So I'm very privileged to be on your show.
So, viewers, let me show you the book that Suresh has written, Conquer Your Beliefs. And it is selling on Amazon.com. And Suresh, you have done an amazing job in this book. You have been the number one bestseller across 3 countries. Which are the countries you hit bestseller, Suresh?
One more is added recently. It is the US, UK, Canada, and India, 4 countries.
Congratulations, Suresh, for bringing out this amazing book.
Thank
Suresh,
you.
I read your book and you have used analogies of elephants and birds and many other animals, which reminded me of stories of Panchatantra from Vishnu Sharma. And it is an amazing way of bringing your story out, particularly when it is so philosophical. So, Suresh, begin with telling us about the belief system, how people are, having fixed belief systems and how they can change it.
Right. Yeah. My book is primarily about the beliefs and how to identify them, how to overcome, and also empower self-belief to share their gifts with the world. Right. If you see, most of us have beliefs, but we are not aware of them. Most of the beliefs are formed during your childhood. Even before we reach the age of 7, we have formed so many beliefs that we are not aware of. It's like something like an analogy where it's like water to fishes, right? Beliefs are to us like water is to fish. Fish does not know that it is living always in water. So it is like that till we are aware that we have beliefs. And once we are aware, we also need to recognize, acknowledge, and take action to overcome those beliefs. This is my basics of how I approach. Primarily, I start with the basics of beliefs. What are beliefs? How they are formed, and subsequently in the other chapters, I say how to identify the beliefs. And I also give various samples, like in various areas of life, like for example, beliefs about ourselves, beliefs about health or body image, and relationships, career, and also any other areas as far as life is
That is
concerned.
precisely what you mentioned, like 3 kinds of beliefs in your book. And I would love if you could elaborate a bit on that.
Right. So the 3 kinds of beliefs, primarily I am talking about the empowering beliefs. So I merge all the empowering beliefs. I say to simplify those, I merge into 3 beliefs. Right. One is self-belief and confidence, the belief we have in ourselves. Second is the trust we have in others and the world. Third is the faith in the whole universe, God, and also the life. So these are the 3 empowering beliefs, kind of simplifying all the beliefs, empowering beliefs into these 3 buckets. So this helps us a lot to simplify and take our goal forward to achieve goal in life. Yeah.
So, Suresh, you are also reading a lot of books besides writing. So, you could tell us about your favorite authors or your favorite subjects, your favorite books. So,
Sure.
what are the things that have transformed you so much in life?
Right. In fact, from my young age, so even when I was in high school, I used to read a lot of material, like primarily spiritual material, which I was interested in. Books by Swami Vivekananda, by Swami Sivananda, Paramhams Yoganand, and the journey started there. In fact, my mother was very much inclined to spirituality, so it started there. And I also attended discourses by Swami Chimayananda on Bhagavad Gita. So this formed the basis. And later, in later years, In fact, I would like to also share a personal incident or personal experience in my life, which almost transformed me. When I was in college, after my second year, I went through a severe mental breakdown. Almost I suffered with it for 6 months. But then I will say it is also a blessing. So otherwise, probably I would have led just a mediocre life, gone for a job, and then like lived my life. And at the end of my life, probably I would have repented, probably why I didn't do anything. But then like that
So
transformed
how
me.
did you overcome those situations?
Yes, and I feel that even that mental breakdown was created by the extreme limiting beliefs that were formed in me. In fact, I was a very timid child, kind of an introvert, very silent, not free talking to anyone, kind of like suppressing all my emotions, feelings without expressing them, right? So they all were kind of building up within me, and it kind of exploded someday, one fine day. And it was primarily because of the limiting beliefs, but I didn't even know that I had those beliefs. So this book is also about it. And when I realized this led to that situation, I started to take action. I started to read more, understand what created that situation, and I started reading about books on by Robin Sharma, Eckhart Tolle, and Paulo Coelho, and then various other authors, right? And it opened my eyes, and I started looking at various inspirational videos, hearing podcasts. So it gave me a clear understanding of what happened, what led to that situation. And I started accepting life as it is, expressing myself fully, right? And also like grateful for whatever I had in my life, what I have in my life, and even for the adverse situation I went through. So it's important to be grateful for both the good in life and also for the bad experiences, because even the adverse situations make us a person who we are like, and make us stronger and able to face situations which are tough. So grateful, being grateful and accepting everything, right? Accepting people as they are, accepting life as it is. These are very important factors, and forgiving ourselves and others for whatever has happened in life. These are the starting points to even identify our limiting beliefs and overcoming them. So these are the various books and various authors I've read. And I also keep looking at various programs, attending online programs, right? Mind Valley. And I also do, by the way, yoga and meditation. So these all help me to become a person I am and to come out of my shell and even to take action to write a book.
Suresh, you mentioned about forgiveness. Now,
Mhm,
what generally people understand is there is
mhm,
a wrongdoer. So why
mhm,
forgive them at all? What about a person who repeatedly hurts you?
mhm.
So elaborate a little bit on this aspect of forgiveness.
So I'll start with a quote by Tony Robbins. He said, "Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself. Forgiveness is not for somebody else, right? Somebody would have hurt us, right? They would have done so many bad things to us. And holding that hurt inside us will kind of hurt us more and more. Whenever we think of that, whenever that memory comes back to us, it hurts us and not the person who created that bad memory. Right? So forgiveness is not about condoning the action of the person who hurt us, but it is about kind of helping ourselves to come out, to clear that memory from us and take our life forward. So it's very, very important to forgive, not only for ourselves, but even for others within our life, right? So that we can live our life fully.
So this is about like what to do, and
Mhm,
maybe you could tell us about how to do it. It seems easy
mhm,
to say,
mhm,
but
mhm.
difficult to perform.
Right, right. So, yeah, what I normally do is there is various ways to do it. So I've gone through a course wherein it says like you repeat a particular statement, saying like, "I forgive yourself," right? "I forgive you for creating the hurt or inflicting the bad things in my life," right? And we keep repeating it because each one of us, I'm following a spiritual approach now. Each one of us is a spiritual being in a human form, and we have come onto this world to learn, grow, and evolve, and also share our gifts to the world. So that being the case, there is no point in holding those hurts within ourselves because finally, each one of us is part of the one same single source. So that being the case, oneness is what we need to look at, and it's important to in whatever way we follow, right? It can be like repeating a specific set of sentences and reminding ourselves that forgiveness is a gift we give to ourselves. That's what I follow. And even during meditation or mindfulness, right, it's very important to accept, as I told earlier, accept people as they are, accept situations as they are, and even accept whatever it is in life as it is. Right? So people, we cannot change people so easily. So it's like it starts with changing ourselves. So we go ahead and change ourselves by forgiving others.
So while you were telling us about your journey into, the path of inspiration and spiritualism, you also have had a mystical experience once in life, something very sublime, something very ethereal. So would you share that experience with us?
Sure. It all happened in the year 2015. So after I left my job, day job in IT, I moved out of IT space and started my own as a self-employed financial consultant. So for the next 1 year, I started taking action on my own because I had a lot of time, and in fact, I had the freedom to do what I wanted to do. So I read a lot of books, and I started becoming more open to life, accepting people as they are. In fact, like earlier, I used to uh, get angry whenever my kids or daughters they behave in a certain way or they wear something which I don't like or whatever it is, right? So reaction would come up, right? But then like I reached a stage wherein like I was ready to accept them as they are, and I was able to look at themselves as spiritual being. Right? Everyone has a soul in themselves, and we cannot change anyone like by shouting at them or like being angry with somebody. So I accepted everyone as they are, like, and I found a change within me. I started having deep love for everything around me, like primarily for nature. I used to love being with nature and take long walks, and I continued with meditation and yoga. These helped me to go deeper inside me, and I saw that even animals, right, even birds or any kind of animals, like they were very loving to me. So certainly, like when I was traveling one fine day, so I was feeling so pleasant, like so joyful. So it was a deep joy coming from within. It was a rainy day, a monsoon day, and again, like I reached a friend's house. I came out of the car, and then I was looking at plants around. They were looking so beautiful, and I saw some flower which felt so mystical for me. I don't know how. It was in the shape of a heart, and I felt like deep love for it. And I don't know what happened. Like suddenly I became one with it. I felt I became one with it, and I forgot everything surrounding me. And it felt so mystical, and I haven't experienced such a thing like earlier. Uh, I felt so blissful, joyful, and in fact, everything looked fresh. Whatever I was looking at, the leaves, the trees, everything around felt so joyful, and I felt so happy. Something coming from within, like with no reason, actually. And it continued for the next 1 2 weeks. In fact, like I was filled with so much of energy, which I couldn't explain. In fact, like it is also called, yeah, it is a spiritual awakening experience, but we also call it as Kundalini awakening, which happened. So Kundalini awakening uh, got initiated, but then like I didn't go through all the stages. We also have something called chakras, 7 chakras, and when we reach the topmost Sahasrara, probably I would have got spiritually realized, self-realized. But then like I fell down back into the realms of the mind, and then I became a normal person. But I was transformed. That experience transformed me a lot. This is in brief
So
what happened.
thereafter, now that you had an experience of that kind of mystical experience,
Yeah.
thereafter, did you think about taking it one step further into Kundalini awakening or higher level of meditation, or does it come to your mind that you want to try that out someday?
Yes, it keeps coming back. But what I also heard is like, so when we long for something, so whether it is a normal thing or even a spiritual experience, when we long for it, keep seeking for it, it keeps going away. In fact, I didn't ask for that experience; it happened like on its own. But then what I understand is like it becomes a spiritual materialistic seeking kind of. So this is what I understood from few gurus, and so like I don't. kind of long for it now, but I still feel, yeah, if it happens again and if I go through that experience and become fully awakened, become spiritually enlightened, so that would be a great experience. I feel so, but then like I don't long for it. So I do normal daily. I have my own habits of meditation and also yoga, but I feel it is important to take life as it is and accept things as they are. And if things have to happen, it will happen. It's my
True.
philosophy.
If things
Yeah.
have to happen, they will happen. The
Yes.
universe will change its ways and change you and take you to that path.
Yes.
Very rightly said. So,
Yes.
viewers, while we let Suresh take a hot sip, I
Mhm.
make an appeal to you to please subscribe, hit the bell icon to stay notified about all our future interactions, and do post in your comments in the comment box below. So, Suresh, coming back to you,
Mhm.
uh, you have written this book.
Yeah.
So, how did writing the book come to your mind? Why did you write the book? And you are so much into podcast and other forms of things. You chose this medium of expressing your
Mhm.
thoughts. So just tell us about your authoring journey. Why did you write this book, and how did it come across?
Sure. Sure. Definitely. So after that experience in 2015, in fact, like I had a dream of sharing my experience, my knowledge, because uh, even the mental breakdown I had and the transformation I went through after that, I read, as we discussed now, I have read a lot of books and gone through, read various blogs, attended various online programs. So I gathered quite an amount of knowledge which I wanted to share. And as you know, each one of us is so unique, right? Whatever has to be said has already been said, but then we bring our own flavor to it. So I wanted to share my perspective to what I learned to everyone who might be benefited based on what I share. So I had the dream of writing a book, and I didn't know how to do it. I just listed out various topics I want to write on and shared some material with few friends. Uh, and I started the journey, but I didn't know how to do it. So traditional publishing was way beyond, and it was very difficult. So suddenly I came through this program offered by Somvatla, and I got into that. Uh, Even after that, I did not take any immediate action. Uh, but then I started taking action from December. For 2 months, I started writing. Sometimes I used to get stuck even while writing, but then like I took consistent action, and self-discipline helped me a lot. Waking up in the morning, setting a specific time to write. So this helped me. And publishing was easy after writing. Um, Finally hitting bestseller. I did not think it's going to hit a bestseller, but it also became a bestseller, and I'm blessed for it.
Yeah, you do something good, and the reward comes your way. That's how it should be always.
Mhm.
So, Suresh, why should a reader read this particular book? There are so many books out there in the bookshelf. Why
Right,
should the reader read this particular book?
right. So I would say two reasons. One is each one of us have limiting beliefs, each one of us without you knowing it. So even after getting transformed so much, I still might be having some limiting belief within me, right? But it's very important to keep learning and taking action and how to overcome those beliefs and keep like empowering ourselves with whatever we can and share our limitless potential, right? So this book provides a spiritual approach, right? It is a kind of a unique approach to overcome limiting beliefs and also empower self-belief and to know who we truly are. So that is one spin I've given here. So that will help. Another thing is like each one has a unique experience, right? I have shared my unique experiences here so that whoever reads or goes through this book need not reinvent that wheel again and go through such like probably even the bad experiences, and that will help them to overcome so whatever hindrances or obstacles they have on themselves and break their mental barriers, right? And share their gifts. Yes.
So, Suresh, you took a big leap of faith about 6 years ago, and before that, you were into a, a, a sphere of a job of your own
Yes.
domain. So,
Mhm.
that must have been a big decision to come out of that shell and try something new, an uncharted territory. So, how do you inspire others to do something similar if they want to?
Sure. Yes. Yeah, it's a good question. In fact, in my life, if you see, like, I have not stuck to one thing, specific area, right? As far as career is also concerned, I like exploring new things. So I was in a manufacturing industry for 8 years, and I got promoted to various levels, to senior levels. starting as a graduate engineer trainee, going up to the levels of a manager. But then I wanted to do something else, and software or IT industry was very attractive those days. So I took training, paid for that training, and then like took a jump, got selected, and I've gone through various companies, various multinational firms. In fact, like I've traveled across the world, US, Germany, various other places while doing the IT job. I finally settled in one IT firm for almost 10 years, 10 to 11 years. And there again, like I grew higher and kept learning a lot of new things in whatever roles I took up. Very, very important is to love our job. Whatever we do, it's important to love what we do. If you do not love what we do, at least take action to change it, right? So change in such a way that you do what you love, right? Or at least if we are not able to take that step, at least find some reason where you can find your love for it, right? Love for doing that particular aspect and develop on it. And it is very, very important to be passionate about what we do because no work is bad, right? No work is meager. Whatever work we do, everything is important because it's going to serve others and also us. So I took that step, and finally, I moved out of the normal job and I made a jump. One of my support was my wife as well because she was also working. So I took a bold. I wouldn't say it's a very bold step, but I took some step. She was a great support for me. Uh, but then, like I started from scratch. I wanted to set up a solar power plant, 1 megawatt power plant. I explored a lot. Finally, I dropped that idea, and then like I started exploring of becoming a financial consultant. Even there, like I explored various areas. Finally, I settled to become an independent financial consultant services job. And in fact, I provide consulting services to individual clients to reach their financial goals so that they can achieve financial freedom, primarily investment management, portfolio management, etc. So it was a long journey, but at least now I'm happy that I took that leap, and I have time at my own this thing. Like I can decide what I want to do at what time, and that also helped me to write the book and successfully publish it. And it's going to be
So
a great.
Suresh, you have had a blissful life experience. You
Mhm.
have got into a field of work that you love to do,
Right.
and you have written a book now. So, what is the way forward from here?
Yes. Good question. So I want to write. I aspire to write more books. I have more in me. At least like I don't know how many, but at least 6 to 7 books at the minimum. But I also aspire to become a coach because with the experience I have, so I've got some good experience and profound things like what I went through. Right, it will help me to share my thoughts with other people who are kind of like going through pain and suffering. It can be health, primarily psychological health, mental health, and also spirituality, right? That helps a lot. And since I'm a financial consultant as well, probably help on wealth aspects also because without having that financial backing, nobody can take action. Like we can't say like you leave all that like and take up something else. So I can provide some good inputs. Becoming a coach, hopefully I can become a speaker. I don't know. That's a long way ahead.
Yeah,
That's it.
recently someone said that if you want to become a philosopher, be rich first.
Yes.
So, on that note, Suresh, thank you for sharing such beautiful insights. Viewers, I thoroughly enjoyed this conversation with Suresh. I hope you did too. And let's hear that from you. Please put in your key takeaways into the chat box below. And with this, Suresh, it was such a pleasure to host you on this show today. Thank
Thank
you
you.
very much. Namaste.
Thank you very much, Vikram.